Wednesday, October 26th. Let's see what we have coming up from there. My goal is to read or get as far through the book as we can. Hopefully get to page 60, maybe past it. Your goal will be page 74, but not till Friday. So we tried to set it up where you're going to have like 2 days to try and get the reading done. I will show you how to get to the audiobook here in a moment, so in case you want to use the audiobook instead of your own brain. But Friday will be quiz over book through page 74. My goal being, as long as you've been here paying attention and then you read the little few pages on your own, you should do fine on it. It's our first big grade of this 9 weeks because we have the 2 homeworks you guys already had, but then this will be the first actual quiz grade that goes on to it. So I was just trying to give you a heads up from there. You will want your notebook tomorrow because we're going to go back to the grammar game show thing. Excuse me. And so if you have your notebook, you'll be able to use it and hopefully make things a little bit easier for you. All right. So here's where, if you have iPad, you can open the iPad, and I'm going to show you how to try to make your life a little bit easier. If you go to today, there are going to be 2 little buttony links that you can click on there. One of them says Shadow Club page, and the other one says homework. You're going to want to click on the one that says Shadow Club page. That's the one that you're going to be using first. When you click on the one that says Shadow Club page, it's going to bring you up with this. This is all of the chapters. And so it gives you an idea. If you want to listen to an audiobook of me reading it, then you can just find the ones that you're supposed to be reading. Like today, we're going to be doing that one, and then I think maybe the very beginning. And so then you can just sort of click the one that you need to do, and then you can follow along. I even set it up where it has, if you don't have your book, it has the words on the screen so you can like see the words as you follow along. I will give you a heads up. If you choose to use audiobook, it does you no good if you're playing the audiobook while you're playing a video game. Just because I had kids tell me that last year where they would listen to the audiobook while not paying any attention to it. And they would come in and be like, why did I fail? I listened to the audiobook. And I was like, did you listen or did you have it playing in the background? Well, I was playing, Fall Guys, but it was playing in the background. I'm like, well, that does you no. So just giving you the heads up, playing in the background doesn't help you. But anyway, I tried to put them up there to help you out if you want. Then, if you go back out and hit the one that says character homework, this is the homeworky thing I keep telling you about where you're going to have to go in and do it. You'll be submitting it on here. Good job. And so it goes through, gives you examples of it, tells you what I'm looking to do. Again, it is up to you if you are wanting to get not A or B or the C or the D. The higher, the more information you put into it. I'm looking for 10 of them. Please follow directions. I know that we seem to struggle on that, but the directions are going to tell you that there's a certain setup you have to do for them, and if you don't follow it, then like the highest grade you get is a C, because that whole following directions thing. So this is just me trying to get you to follow directions. But at the same time, I know, as we pointed out earlier with the 7th graders, you're going to ignore me and lose your book and be confused and then be like, I don't understand what's going on, and then we have to make fun of you and stuff like that. So this was just my way of trying to help you. Here's the good news and bad news about the homework. It is not due until next Tuesday. So I'm giving you almost a week to work on it. Here's the bad news. Do you know what happens Monday night? Halloween. Wow. If you wait till the night is due, life is going to suck. Do not, like a vampire. Do not wait until Monday night to do it. You are going to be full up of candy. So do not wait till then. I did this on purpose to torture you because I want you to not wait till the last minute. So please don't wait till then, but I'm giving you till Tuesday before it officially becomes late. I'm hoping I don't have to torture you the day after Halloween. You can turn it in as soon as you get it done. So if you get it done and you want to work on it tomorrow during best, work on it tomorrow during best and submit it, and life is good. But other than that, I'm not making it officially due till Tuesday to try and give you time. Questions over that?
No. Yes.
Then you can put the iPad away. We just needed it for those 2 things. I figured you physically tapping the button would make it. Oh, in the book, if you have your little name tag on the Post-it note, if you want to write on your little Post-it note, page 74 due Friday as your reminder, I would recommend it. But you're also, welcome to ignore me. It's a thing that some of you guys do on a regular basis.
Friday.
is, again, as it tells you right there, page 74 is what's due Friday. It is in the middle of a chapter. The reason being is that page 60-something ends the chapter, but there's a really fun thing that happens at the beginning of the next chapter, and I wanted you to get to the fun thing. And so that's why I put it as page 74. It's right halfway down the page in the middle of that next chapter, but you'll see there's a little break in the page. You'll figure it out. I have faith in you. All right, let's read, because the more I can read, the less homework you have. Let's see, for you guys, we got past character things to try and help you out from there. And then we got Taryn, Tyson, and Jared fighting again. Task meeting devil. Did I show you guys the picture of the gopher yesterday?
No.
So I went and looked. So I went and looked at the picture of the gopher because that was the nickname that he gets, as being called a gopher. So if you were unaware, this is what a gopher actually. That's from Winnie the Pooh, by the way. And then I also found a little gopher comic strip and stuff like that. And so him being called Gopher throughout the coming book, that becomes his ongoing nickname, where that he's basically just a scrub that has to go get stuff, and Austin gives him a hard time. And then I think we got to Annie.
Yeah, we did.
All right. Let's see, where did we stop with you guys? Where is this period 1? Did you say 48? Oh, let me write a look.
How did Jehovah do that?
Because he did really well on one of my tests, and it is. You are correct. We are partway down. Let's see. I lost my bookmark for you guys now. Oh, I found a new one. It's right here. So sassy. But you are correct. We are halfway down 48 when we were talking about the wide world of sports. We did. So I came up with some more pictures to help you guys out. I was inspired after you guys. So we had Jared and Austin, and they were doing their racy run thing when he challenges him. And then Austin beats him, and Jared tries to catch up by diving. And so I tried to come up with a picture of Jared diving across the finish line to try and catch him. And it said his knees went one direction, so it's the best I could do. It has his jacket out to the side, a little backpack, and that's Austin taunting him, and Jared no, and hitting the ground. I was trying.
Good try.
Right.
His hands are black, but his face is white.
It's the best I could do. I'm Googling all these pictures of kids falling while running, and that was all I could come up with. Anyway, halfway down page 48.
You're funny.
It says, by now, kids were crowding around Austin. By now, kids were crowding around Austin. Wow, did you see Austin take off? Wow, he really beat him bad. Wow, Austin's so fast. Wow this and wow that. Austin was loving every last bit of it. They crowded around him and left me there on the ground to examine my elbows. You shouldn't race Austin, kid, said a 7th grader. Austin beats everybody. Austin looked down at me. He was barely winded. You ran pretty good. For a gopher. Everyone laughed. Gopher, gopher, gopher. Austin raised his hands to conduct them as they all chanted, Gopher, 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 over and over again. I could have killed him. I could have ripped him limb from limb. But then I thought about Tyson McGaw. I was like, no, I wasn't Tyson. I was civilized. I wasn't going to attack Austin. Instead, I stood up, brushed myself off, and waited till the gopher chanting stopped. Then I looked Austin straight in the face, put out my hand. Nice race, Austin. I shook his hand. Let me tell you, it took all my strength to do it too. Yeah, see you around, gopher. I turned and left while everyone crowded around Austin. My elbows had just begun hurting. Cheryl was there waiting for me. And that's one thing about her. She was always there. She never laughed at me either. Are you okay? I looked back toward Austin and turned to Cheryl and asked, so what are we going to call our club? So now we officially started. By the way, I underlined she never laughed at me either, and I put out to the side my students, because you guys never laugh at me, and it makes me feel it.
Yes, we do. We laugh at you all the time.
That's so nice of you guys. By the way, I think Austin's a really bad sport, because even though he beat him, he's still calling him Gopher. Charter at Stonehenge. With this one. Do you guys know Stonehenge? The place in England with like the little...
No.
This thing?
Oh, yeah.
It's got like little rock. So the place where they're going to start their club and hang out, they're going to call Stonehenge. It's not the real Stonehenge. It's like an old house that fell down that they're hanging out in. Probably not the most safe place. But they're referring to this as Stonehenge because it kind of looks like the same idea. So I didn't want you to get confused and think all of a sudden they jumped to England because they're not in England. All right. Page 50, the Charter at Stonehenge. I don't think anyone knew what used to be there, but whatever it had been, only the old stone foundation remained in a clearing in the woods. The stones were worn and covered with moss. Inside the rectangular stone foundation was a pit about 6 feet deep and 20 feet across, filled with bushes and trees. It could have been there for 100 years. Nobody knew. Cheryl Randall and I found it years ago, exploring as kids, but it seemed too eerie to play in, so we had left it alone, filing it away in our heads for future reference. The old foundation sat there in the thick woods between Cheryl's house and the ocean, waiting. And I'd always thought of the foundation as waiting for someone to use it again, I guess, or maybe just waiting to disappear into the earth like the building that once stood above it had. It was waiting, all right. And on the second Friday of 9th grade, I had this certain exciting feeling that it was waiting for us. As Cheryl and I stood on the outer edge of the deep stone foundation looking into the pit, Cheryl said, "This is great. I couldn't think of a better place to have our meetings." I walked around the edge until I came to a place where the foundation had given away and the earth sloped down into the pit. I climbed down into the center and Cheryl followed. It looks like it could almost be magical. Maybe it's haunted or something? Well, don't go and make it all spooky. But it was spooky already. Spooky in a fun sort of way, like the mummy cases in the museum or like a ghost town. There was a feeling to the place that made anything we could possibly do there seem very, very important. It would give our club meetings a hint of mystery. What time is it? 4:15? They'll be here in 15 minutes. As I looked around, I began to see things you couldn't see from up on the ledge. There were old green Coke bottles and aluminum cans with the old-fashioned pull-off tabs that they stopped making years ago. There were designs on the cans that I didn't even recognize. For all I knew, they could have been here since the building came down. All around us were little bits of the past that no one had touched for years and years. It was magical, like that Stonehenge place in England, mysterious rocks with a hidden history. Let's call this place Stonehenge, I said to Cheryl. Great, I like that. She climbed back up to the edge and sat on a moss-covered cinder block at the lip of the pit, the edge of Stonehenge. I feel like a witch. You look like one, I said. She stepped right into that one. Oh, shut up. You know what I mean. It's like we could conjure up ghosts here. What time is it? 4:20? At first, I'd felt funny talking to kids about this club. I was afraid they'd laugh in my face, but no one did. Picking out the kids for the club became like a game. Cheryl and I would keep our eyes open, watching for kids in our exact situation. Kids who were second best, who were miserable about it and had to live under the shadow of some nasty, unbeatable person who rubbed their noses in it every day. We ruled out some kids right away. Others took longer, but finally we came up with a list of 5 kids who would be perfect. We didn't want a big group, just 7, including us, was just fine. One by one, either Cheryl or I spoke to them when no one else was around. And you know what? Every single one of them wanted to be in the club, the Shadow Club, as Cheryl and I named it. So we called the first meeting, then marked the trees so that everyone could find our secret meeting place in the woods. At any second, they would converge on the old foundation and the Shadow Club would be born. What time is it? Cheryl looked at me with those give me a break sort of eyes and said, "Stop being ridiculous." So I didn't ask anymore. I climbed back down into Stonehenge to start at the campfire. The sun was near the horizon and shadows were getting long and dark when everyone finally arrived. By now, the little campfire I had started in the center of the big square foundation pit was burning strong. It wasn't dark and it wasn't cold, and We didn't have marshmallows to roast, so the campfire didn't seem to make much sense. But it was there for a very good reason that only Cheryl and I knew. I guess we should start by formally introducing ourselves. Why? Asked Randall. We all know each other already. Shut up. You'll see. I'll start. I had practiced my speech a few times at home, so I didn't feel funny being the first one to go. My name is Jared Mercer. I am the second best runner in the school, second to Austin Pace, the most conceited, obnoxious... Wait, is anyone here friends with Austin? Nobody raised their hand, so I continued. Conceited, obnoxious, pain-in-the-neck kid ever to be in any track team. He takes every chance he gets to make me feel lousy just because I'm not as fast as he is. I paused for effect. I hate Austin Pace. I turned to Cheryl. She began. My name is Cheryl Gannett, and I am and have always been the second best singer, dancer, and all-around performer in my family. Even my own mother forgets. Sorry, up here I'm putting up the people as they introduce themselves. Hopefully that helps you out about who they hate and what they're good at, stuff like that. Even my own mother forgets I can sing. Now it's the same way in school. My cousin Rebecca, who thinks she's God's gift to the universe, gets all the attention. I hate Rebecca. Oh, I get it, said Randall. Okay, it's my turn. My name is Randall Gannett, and I'm the best swimmer in the 8th grade. Randall, shush! Like I said, I'm the best swimmer. But Drew Landers thinks he's better than me, but he's not. Randall, you can't do that. Why not? It's true. You have to admit it. You have to admit to being second best. Otherwise, you can't be in the club. But he's not better than me. No? Did you ever beat him in a race? Randall looked like a cornered animal. Almost. So he is faster. He cheats. How can you cheat in swimming? He's taller. If he wasn't taller, I would win. Randall shut up after that one and looked around the circle, feeling embarrassed. Maybe we should go on and come back to you later. No, I'll go. Now he looked down and fidgeted with a stick. I'm the second best swimmer, okay? Drew Landers is better than me. He always beats me by 1/10 of a second, and then he laughs at me. He even laughs at me during swim meets, when everyone on the team is supposed to be cheering one another on. Randall looked up for a moment, then back down at his twig. A sad but mean expression came over his face. Even though I take second place all the time, he still laughs at me. He calls me duck feet because my feet are a little big. And next year when all the 9th graders graduate, he'll be the best on the team, probably captain, and he'll still laugh at me every day. I hate Drew Landers. Randall looked up at Cheryl. You happy? That'll do. Jason cleared his throat to get everyone's attention. He was raring to go. My name is Jason Perez. He took off his glasses, probably feeling self-conscious about them. He was also self-conscious about being fat, even though he wasn't fat anymore. He'd actually grown into his weight. I play trumpet. I've been playing for 4 years, and I'm finally getting good enough to play first trumpet for band. And I've been taking extra lessons, but then last year, David Berger just up and decides he wants to learn trumpet. And in like 3 months, he's better than everyone. So he gets every single solo and every single award. And I get absolutely nothing, ever, no matter how hard I practice. And I really hate David Berger. He stopped for a second, and we all thought he was done. But then he started up again. Last June, when they picked kids for the Young Musicians Society, did I get picked? No! David Berger! David Berger! All anybody ever hears about is David Berger! I can't stand him! And now he's been picked to play for the high school band! Can you believe it? And then, Jason, I said, interrupting, how do you say all that without breathing? There were a few giggles from around the circle. Oh. Well, sorry. I thought you wanted to know. You can tell us after everybody's had a chance. Everyone turned to Abby, who had her strawberry blonde hair in some new style that was hard not to stare at. Well, as you know, I'm Abby Singer, and I have absolutely no idea why I'm here. And that's all she said at first. Come on, Abby. You know why. No, I really don't. I'm not second best at anything. I don't even think I'm third best. I mean, okay, I do hate Vera Donaldson, like you said when you first told me about this club thing, Cheryl, but she is definitely not better than me in anything. I turned to Cheryl, but Cheryl didn't say anything. It was Jason who spoke, very softly. I know why you're here, he said, looking down at the pair of glasses he held in his hands. You're here because you're the second prettiest girl in school. Abby thought about this. Huh. Is that why, Cheryl? Well, you are the second most popular girl in school. Abby smiled. Yeah, I guess I am, aren't I? Vera Donaldson is a snot, said Jason. I thought that was actually too nice of a word for her. Well, not everyone thinks so. She's the most popular girl in school, and she hates my guts. I don't know why, but every time there's a guy who likes me, she always steals him away first, just for fun, or tells him nasty things about me. Do you know how it feels for people to say nasty stuff about you like that? And none of it is true. Absolutely none of it. She clenched her teeth and her hands rolled into fists. Just thinking about her makes my head hurt. Say it. I hate Vera Donaldson. O.P., who was next, looked around a bit nervously. She had been quiet all this time and knew perfectly well why she was here. O.P. was Korean, I think, but she didn't have any accent at all. I'm Karen Han, and, well, I guess I'm smart. I have the second highest math and reading scores in the 9th grade. I get the second best grades in just about everything, and Tommy Nichols always gets the best. Ugh, he is such a bozo. So, nailed it. If I get a 98 on a test, then Tommy will get a 99 all the time. So last year, he started to call me OP, and now everyone does. It stands for 1 point. Randall giggled, and Cheryl elbowed him. Yeah, everyone thinks it's funny. I don't mind being called it, but I hate it when Tommy Nichols says it. I guess I hate Tommy Nichols. Last in the circle was Darren Collins, whose legs seemed longer than just about everybody's whole body. He was 14, but was getting pretty close to 6 feet already. I'll give you one guess what he did. Yeah, I'm second best too, admitted Darren. I've never gotten MVP on any basketball team. I was always next in line. Someone else always beat me out. Usually it doesn't really bug me that much, but for 2 years, Eric Kilfoyle has been making me look like a fool on the court all the time. He's like turned me into the team mascot or something and makes everybody think I'm a dumb jock. But I'm not. I get good grades. Then he does these Harlem Globetrotter things to me, you know, like bouncing the ball off the top of my head and then getting the shot in and everyone laughs. Once, I got so mad, I stepped on his face and got taken out of the game. I hate Eric Kilfoyle. I have no idea how he stepped on his face, but I'd like to hear that story.
There was definitely an accident.
Definitely. And it was back to me. By now, the shadows were getting even longer, and it was almost time for the sky to turn colors. A soft wind blew down at Stonehenge, and the campfire crackled. The first part was done. Now came part 2, and that's where we stopped. We have now officially ended exposition. Here's where we get to the rising action. The part I'm going to have you start reading is where they start doing the pranks and the bad things happen. So, to give you a couple little hints, they're going to talk about a thermos. If you don't know what a thermos is, it's like the little metal things that have, you guys, the water bottles you have now, that's a thermos. And then I can't show you the other pictures because it's going to give things away. But I figure thermos will help you out. Other than that, tomorrow bring back notebook, get homework done before Halloween, enjoy the day.